Representative Smith.
Thank you, Representative Smith. I counted up, we have about 8 representatives in this room that I know that some of them would like to speak. We also have a sign-up sheet, if you're not aware. I've already got 15 on this list and another probably 10 or 12 on that list. And we, as you know, we cannot meet once session goes on. So we've only got about 35 minutes, and there's a lot of folks that drove a long, long way to be here. So I don't mind hearing from a couple of representatives. It could be very brief if anybody would like to say, or we can hold it to a future meeting if we have one. But we've got folks that drove as far as Edisto and some places all across the state I want to have an opportunity to speak. So does any representative want to say something briefly? Mr. Skelton?
Let me just go right there.
Sure.
You can speak there if you want, like to, Mr. Skelton.
Actually, I'm on the other side from this Representative Smith on this issue. And I didn't come really prepared to make a presentation. I had intended to wait until it got to the floor, if it did. Of course, I hope it doesn't get to the floor. We're in this situation with the Chamber of Commerce wanting caps on local spending, primarily because of what we did with property tax last year. When you take the property tax off of owner-occupied homeowners, then there is the only other result is a shift of the tax burden to the other tax-paying entities, which is what's going to happen over a period of time. And the Chamber of Commerce pointed this out last year when we were doing the property tax reform, and nobody paid any attention. But now that we have caused the problem, the Chamber of Commerce is coming back saying we need to cap it, and so now we're paying attention. Frankly, capping something is nothing more than price fixing, and price fixing simply does not work in the real world. This approach assumes that every city in the state is the same. I have information from the city of Clemson looking at the cost of retirement, looking at the cost of workers' compensation, looking at the cost that they don't have any control over, which means that they would have to cut out other services if they were capped at this level. It seems ironic to me that the same people who elect us are atomic brains when they elect us, but when they elect city council officials and county council officials, they're just dumbasses. I just don't understand. They're elected, and they are responsible to the people who elect them. And so it seems to me that we ought to defer to the local elected officials. If anybody believes that the higher level you get in government increases the efficiency of government, then I would challenge them to a debate on that subject. The government that operates best is the government that is closest to the people. And of course, when we get to Columbia, we know everything. We want to control everything. We can't even control Columbia. How can we control cities and counties without trying to put some arbitrary rule on them? The situation with respect to, say, Greenville County. Greenville County was able to maintain a no tax increase philosophy over a long period of time. Do you know why? Because economic development generates the tax revenues that make it possible to provide the additional services that are required. We have some cities and counties in this state that have almost no economic development. Guess what? The cost of labor, the cost of gasoline, the cost of everything goes up in local government. How are they going to pay it if they don't raise taxes? I don't want taxes any more than anybody else, but I want the people who are making the decisions on the taxes to be as close to the people as possible. Those people can be voted out. My people back home don't know what I'm doing most of the time, but they sure do know what's happening when their city taxes go up or their county taxes go up. And guess what? There is a way to cap local government spending if you don't like it. You vote the rascals out. And we had We've had 3 county council members that have been voted out because of what was considered to be extraordinary expenditures on a new library, that the people decided, we don't want that. So they voted the rascals out. That's the way you correct the spending problem at the local level, rather than putting artificial caps on it. There's a lot more I could say, and if it gets to the floor, then I'll have some prepared remarks, but you're right. I don't want to deprive the people who have traveled a long distance from having the opportunity to talk on it. So thank you for your comments, and I don't need any questions.